Alright guys, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Genesis and I am just here today to show you something that I kind of get asked a little bit, and I finally decided to make a video on it because I'm tired of answering the questions on Twitter when I can just link a video. It is much easier, and that is all of the practical ways to combo Trish's TAC Infinite and all of the little intricacies to them. There's a lot of videos on the internet about Trish's TACs and everyone's TACs, but there's only a few of them that actually have commentary and little insights here and there into the actual combos themselves, so that's what I'm here to give you today. So let me go over Trish's normals really quick in the air. Trish has two normals that pretty much do the same thing and one that does something different. So as you can see, her M, let's go over a little bit easier. Her M kind of pops you up higher, and her her L pops you up higher, and her M pops you up higher. By the way guys, this is all in one shot. I don't have editing software or anything like that, so there might be a few little mistakes here and there. So bear with me. As I said before, the L pops them up high and the M pops them up high. So if you were to do something like this, the M is going to whiff, but if you do, it's going to hit. So, and her H spikes you down into the ground, as you can see. When she hits you with it, it kind of doesn't spike you straight into the ground, but it sure does not bring you up. No matter how high you are, it will always hit them back into the ground pretty quickly. And that's really important, as I'll show you in the next batch of parts where you get to see how I actually do the infinite. So the input for the infinite is a lot like her regular B&B. It's pretty much, well, something in the corner, the shallow B&B as I like to call it. It's pretty much that, which is jump, MH dive kick, and then a trap, and then a falling MH. All of her normals can start the infinite. As you can see, L can start it there, M can start it there, and H can start it from a little bit higher. And that is also really important, as you'll see there too. But the one in the corner variant is really easy, as you've seen dozens of times. It's just MH dive kick, cancel in a trap, and then a falling MH. Now I'm just going to show you the ways to set it up, and these are the practical ways that I think are the easiest, and these are the ways that I do them. I'm aware there are many ways to combo Ender Infinite, a lot of them more stylish. Some of them may be more optimal for meter before, in case you feel you're going to drop it or something like that, but these are just the ones that I do. So her down is pretty straightforward. Her down, you're going to want to come in with a dash, and then immediately fly. Straight dash, immediately fly, down forward dash, and then LH, and then unfly with M. If you guys do not know what I mean about unflying with M, normally if you unfly and do a normal immediately after, you'll get a trap, just because, as you can see my inputs there, it is quarter circle back SM, just because of negative edge and the way the move goes. But Marlon put out this fancy video a while ago that if you unfly with a button, I didn't unfly there, if you unfly with a button at the same time, that normal will come out on the frame that you unfly. So as you can see, when I do that, I'm getting HS right there, H come out. So you can do things like that and get H come out, whereas you normally cannot do that. In time, you will get that instead. So back to the infinite, sorry I keep trailing off, you will be getting a dash in, fly, and then dash down forward, L, H, and then unfly with M, and the M is actually what's going to start the infinite. The reason, here's the first little different thing that I do from everyone else. A lot of people do dash down forward and then L, M, and unfly M. The only reason I don't do L, M into unfly M is that M does not have as much of a juggle property as H does. It is not as active in the air when they're actually in there popped up, so it doesn't let you adjust anything at all. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about right here. I'll try to do, say I do this really fast. See how high they were on the M? Now they're really high on the infinite, and this is going to be a pain to adjust. I adjusted it properly, but I still had to adjust something. If I do the infinite with H, like I'm doing now, see how long I can let them hang into H before, and I can make sure they're going to be low enough for me to do the infinite. After the infinite, you're going to want to do jump, LM dive kick, and then trap, falling MH. And then from there, it's the same stuff. As you can see I'm doing right now, pretty dang simple stuff. But that's the biggest thing that I do different from a lot of people. Other people that I see is I do L, H, M, fly M. And that's going to be pretty much consistent through all the infinites, except for, actually no, they all do that. There is one that I prefer to kind of do M sometimes, but it's just a little bit on depending on how high they are. But to me, that's a really big thing, because it allows you to adjust the height so much. As you can see, you can let it hang and then do M, and that'll all combo. So that's the biggest thing I do. As I said, down is pretty easy. Dash, fly, and then you are in the infinite. The only intricacy here with the infinite is, see how they're starting to get kind of low? I dropped it, sorry. If they start getting too low on the infinite, they will fall too low, and the H will actually spike them too low. And when you go for the next jump MH to start the infinite, they'll be too low for the M, and the M will whiff out. To adjust that, you're just going to want to do MM dive kick. So you're going to want to do it like, say they're getting too low, MM dive kick trap, MH. So that's, I usually do it every other rep. I'll do MM just to make myself safe. So this is pretty much the way I do it. Okay, so I got 2 with H, I'll do 1 with M. And bam, 2 more with H, 1 with M. And that's pretty much how I do the infinite until they die. You can end it on the trap on super if you want to end it like that, or you can just, as you're falling from M, you can do LS and it'll spike them into the ground, and you can do an super as such. I'll try to show you right here if I don't drop it. I think I did. Yeah, I did, totally. Let me show you this one. And I'm not going to go into the other ones as much as I'm going into this one. This is just because this is the one, and I'm talking, that's actually going to show you how to do the infinite itself. Like that, and then you can do Titanium Trap into super, and that's how you will end your infinite if you choose so. I prefer to not use meter while I'm doing the infinite to kill, just because why am I going to want to use meter that I just earned, as I just gave my, I just gave the opponent 3 bars, I earned 3 bars, and I just used 2 of them, so now I just gave my opponent a 1 meter deficit, a 1 meter advantage over me. So I prefer to always end with the infinite, but that's just me. Anyway, so that is the down TC infinite. Pretty simple. If I'm going a little too fast for you guys, I do apologize, but that's why this is a video. With the magic of the internet, you can rewind and watch it once again. But that was the down TC infinite for you in the corner. The up TC is going to be the second easiest one in my opinion in the corner. Now this, I'm going to go off on another tangent just to show you something so you understand what's going on, because you can't see Trish as I'm doing this. Now, if you guys don't know, when you dash in this game, see how I'm stopping at the end of my dash? That is just my momentum for my dash wearing out. So she's no longer dashing at that point. So you can see at the top of my jump, if I dash down, I stop pretty much right above where it says catalogs in the back. Whereas, if I do a normal, I spike all the way into the ground and I don't lose my momentum. Now that's going to be really imperative to what we're going to do now on the up TAC. After I up TAC, you're going to come in with dash down S, and then fly. You're using that S to give you a little bit longer of a dash down, because whereas I would stop right there, I'm trying to stop right there. Well, I mean higher than that, but I'm trying to stop a little bit further than I normally would. And the S is giving me the proper momentum to go down and fly and keep my momentum so I fall lower to the ground. What you want to do here is on the up TC, you're going to come in with dash down S, fly. I'm just going to do it just from here just so you can see. Fly, and then you're going to want to dash down forward, light HS, sorry, I ran out of fly. So you're going to do dash down, light HS, or light HM, like we did before. So that's pretty much the dash down forward, light HM is pretty much going to be in like every infinite. So that's all you're doing. Now you're just using the dash down S fly to get yourself to that position where you can do the dash down forward, light HM. And it looks something like this. If I can do it right in the first shot. And there you go. Oh, I messed up the unfly. But that's the different height that you want to be at from the dash down up. You see once again there I was really high, and the H actually let them hang there for a bit, and I got to actually adjust the height on the infinite. You want to not do the dash down S immediately. You actually want to do dash down S, fly. I'm going to run out of space when I'm just coming in from there. But you want to do dash down S, let it hang for a bit, then fly. You don't want to do like, and cancel immediately. You can still do the cancel immediately, but you're going to end up really high, and you're going to have to really let them fall into that H. And to me, that's just one less thing I have to worry about if I just let it rock. So if you just let it rock for a little bit, like dash down S, fly, and then into the M, you'll always be to that perfect height, and you don't have to worry about actually setting up any of the infinites, any more little intricacies you don't need to know. The reason you're doing this infinite is you try to kill the next character for free pretty much, and build a lot of bar while doing it, so you don't want to take any extra risk than you have to. There is another way to go into the TC infinite that I know a lot of people do now, and it's something along the lines of like that, and then you have to wait on the dive kick, and I'm really high, so I'm not really time this. Yeah, I didn't get it. And that's the reason I don't like doing that, is because you actually have to time something. Because you have to time, not that's immediate, you have to time that, the dive kick, you have to time the fly, and you have to time the fall. I missed the fall, so see that could have been a potential character comeback, or a helm breaker or something like that would have come out. Whereas with this, It's pretty straightforward on how I do it every time. There's no real timing involved. The only timing is on the dash down S, and that's not really hard to time at all. You kind of get the hang of it. Like I said, once you just kind of let the S delay for a bit, you want to S immediately as you dash, but you don't want to cancel on the fly immediately. And then you just dash down forward, and boom, and you start your infinite. And that's just really, really easy for me to do. Now we're going to switch it up a little bit. For corner TAC, there are ways to take them back in a corner. I believe one of them is something along the lines of that, is dash down forward, dive kick, and then you trap. And that's just way too complicated in my opinion. I've tried to do that for a while now, and I could never get it, but you know, maybe I just suck. If you guys are doing it better than that, then please disregard this next side TAC. But the way I do the side TAC is pretty much the way I do the up TAC, but in shorter length. So now, when we come in with the S, we're gonna dash down S, and then cancel immediately in the fly. And I can't do it because I suck. There we go. We're gonna cancel immediately in the fly, then dash down forward, LH unfly with M, like we've done before. So we're always ending with the LH unfly into M. Now, the way we're going to do this on the side is going to look a little bit tricky because we actually are going to take them back mid-screen and go all the way to the other corner. This is the reason that some people might kind of complain in the comments or whatever about this infinite, because it doesn't take you out of the corner, but if you're consistent enough with it, which I don't think the mid-screen variant is that hard to do, you can push them all the way to the other side of the corner. Now the mid-screen variant of the infinite is pretty much the same as when you start her regular infinite. You're going to do LMH, let me see if I can do it. I don't think it's actually going to combo, but I can try to show you. You're going to do LM dive kick, or LM dive kick, cancel in a trap, and then you're going to dash MH. It's going to look something like her regular BMB, so it's actually, or my choice is regular BMB mid-screen, which is not with light, but whatever, you can do it with light too. You're pretty much going to end with the dash MH, and that's what's going to set you into the infinite. And I can't do the BMB now because I'm talking. There we go. Oh my god, I suck. Anyway, you get the point of how it actually does look. And I can't do it. Wow. See, this is why I wish I had editing software. Bam. I'm doing it with light, but it's going to be something like that. So it's going to be the dash MH. I'll show you. It's a little bit easier to do once you're in the infinite. So that's going to be the infinite variant, and you're just going to keep repeating that. So it's always going to be the jump, LM dive kick trap, dash MH, and then jump, LM dive kick trap, dash MH, over and over and over again. And it looks like this. Not like that. Sorry, it's high. Like that, over and over again. And when you're in the corner, you just don't dash on the last one. Usually just don't dash there, and you do MH, and then go back into the regular corner infinite, and do the thing you normally would do, just now you're doing it on the other side of the screen. So that is the way I do side TAC. Some of you might not like it, and to continue doing it your way if you do have your side way to do it. I think the other way is efficient to do, it's just not my way of doing it, and you see how big her hitbox is on her dive kick, and that's what's always made it really hard for me to do it properly. I just never got around to practicing it, so it's also another reason that I don't know how to do it, because I don't practice it. So that is the way I do it. Like I said, it would be dash down S fly immediately, then dash down forward LMH, or LHM, and then immediately jumping into the mid-screen variant as such. One more time. You can kind of see on the inputs how quick I'm doing. If they are high, you can kind of delay the dash a little bit, because she doesn't really fall immediately after the peekaboo, as I'm trying to show you, but I dropped it. The first one I did there in that infinite was really shaky, and I did delay the dash a lot just because she doesn't fall immediately. She kind of has that little grace period where she just picks her knees up and stays in the air. You can wait, you can dash immediately after the track, or you can kind of let her hang there and then dash, and that's what you're going to do with a little bit higher. Also against characters like Zero, Wolverine, Rocket Raccoon, all the really small characters, you're always pretty much going to want to do that on the first rep, because it just makes it that much easier to juggle them, because they are lower, so they'll pop up a lot higher too. And that mid-screen variant does actually pop them up quite high, so you have to be wary of that. So once again, cover all the directions real quick. Dash, infinite, and then up. Remember, it's the dash S, not immediately into fly, and I talk, that's why I did it. Don't cancel the dash down S immediately into fly, and then dash down LHM, and I can't do it. There we go. And then the side version, as we've just been going over, is dash down S immediately, fly into the mid-screen variant. And the peekaboo trap is a common mistake. That's what you'll get if you unfly incorrectly. The good thing about it is it doesn't it doesn't actually leave you in too much of a disadvantage because you're pretty much safe after, but you're not going to finish the combo. So once again, that is a common mistake that will happen if you unfly wrong. That's also another reason I don't like doing other versions, because if I unfly wrong with the H, it pretty much always is going to not do anything because I'm so low to the ground, it's not going to give me a round trip. Whereas if you do unfly M, like I'm doing, you're going to get peekaboo, so it's a little bit easier. Okay, so now let's move into mid-screen. Mid-screen are, you already saw the mid-screen variant, so now I can show you how to set up the mid-screen ones. The mid-screen one for down is exactly the same as the corner one for down. The only difference is you don't dash down forward immediately. You have to dash down forward when they start falling, or you'll end up in a really weird spot, and they'll be either behind you or they'll be way up above you where the next part of the infinite is going to be really difficult. So you do dash, fly, dash, LHM, and then that is the infinite pretty much. So, but you can just see how I'm just delaying my dash ever so slightly as I'm coming dash down forward, because if you do it too fast, and I dashed way too fast there, I wasn't even ready to dash. If you do it too fast, see how he's like way above me and the M will whiff? I can let the H hang, but there's no real point in doing it like that. So you just gotta wait till they're kind of falling, and then boom, right into the infinite, and all the way to the corner as you would do before. Let's see if I can push him all the way to the corner. And there you go. That's how you adjust and go into the corner version. You're pretty much always going to want to do an MMH after that just to make sure they're high enough. But that is the down version. The down version is extremely simple mid-screen. It is very, very easy to set up. The second easiest, in my opinion, to set up mid-screen is side. Side goes back to the dash down S thing to fly into it, except you're going to dash down forward S and then dash down forward again into LH unfly M. The dash down S on this one is somewhere in between, and I'm sorry, I really don't know how to explain it any better. It's somewhere in between the wait for corner in the up TAC, and it's somewhere in between the corner of side TAC where you do it immediately. You don't really cancel into fly immediately, but you don't really cancel into it too late either, or you'll end up really awkwardly behind you and you'll just get an S because your input took it backwards. So it's something like this. A little too slow on the S. Like that, except you gotta unfly with M, like not a scrub. There we go. And you're actually gonna start the infinite. You'll see too when they start the infinite mid-screen sometimes, as it was there, when you go for the trap, sometimes they're on the very edge of the trap. They will still pop up into the trap. You just have to do your dash MH almost immediately to make sure you catch up to them before they fall out of your trap entirely. So the side one, in my opinion, is the easiest one, just because it takes the least amount of brain power to set up, as I mess it up. It's kind of almost exactly like the down TAC version, in that it's pretty easy to set up. It just kind of sets up itself. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the side TAC version. Not really much to cover there. The only little intricacy of that one is, like I said, the dash down S fly timing is a little bit different than up. It's not as late, and it's not as early as side TAC in the corner view. So it's somewhere a little bit in between. You kind of have to judge on your character height and their character height, and also the character size. But for the most part, it's pretty easy to set up. And as you can see there too, I just messed that up. Sometimes when you do the dash HM, you do it a little too late, and they will fly overhead, and your M will whiff. That is another common mistake that happens with the infinite. You just kind of have to learn how to tighten up your dashes after the peekaboo traps. So onto, in my opinion, the hardest TAC infinite she has, and that's up mid-screen. The only reason I say this is the hardest version is just because the timing is a little bit awkward on it. Now, I didn't cover this in the corner, but up in the corner, one of her old ones that you could do was just straight up dive kick into fly. The only reason I didn't like it is, once again, I have to time this, and it's a little bit more awkward to time than the dash down S version I do. It is possible, but as you can see, I'm missing it every time, and that might just be because I don't practice it, so I don't know the kind of feels of the timing after dive kick. But in the corner, it's a little bit more awkward just because you're dashing straight into them. I don't know, it just feels different to me. Well, that's what we're going to do mid-screen. Mid-screen, there are ways to do it with dash down, fly S, like I did before, into dash down forward, but a lot of times what happens is they'll be too far in front of you for the infinite to continue, and you won't actually get it. And I've been trying to make it work, but it's just, they're way too far in front of me, it's not going to work out. So with the up in this corner, I will actually advise that you dive kick, and then just dash down, LM, or LH fly. That's the way I actually do it mid-screen. For some reason, I don't know, it's the exact same thing. I know I was saying Genesis are crazy, it's the same thing you do in the corner. I don't know, it feels different to me mid-screen. It feels a lot easier for me to do mid-screen. That's just the way I prefer to do it. But mid-screen up, I will always do that. So it's dive kick, into fly, dash down, into the LH on fly M, and start your regular business. Into the regular, like, infinite as you would go mid-screen variant. But there's really no intricacies to that. The only one I guess I could point out is that when she dive kicks, she kind of goes off screen, and there's no real method I have to timing the dive kick into when I fly. I don't like count or anything like that. I really just do it to when I feel I'm under them. Once you kind of learn the trajectory of Trish's dive kick, it's not amazingly fast, but it's pretty quick. So you can kind of see like, oh, I'm under him now. And her fly is pretty immediate, so that's just going to stop the momentum wherever you're at. So do it to where you feel like you're under them, and then dash down. You can't really see her, that's what makes it the hardest part. But, you know, I feel like I'm under them right there. I'll cancel on the fly, so it's kind of like fly. And right there, as you can see, the beauty of that H, and there is the mistake I told you about. That happens a lot when you do the other version of up and side, where you do like dash down, fly, then dash forward. They'll end up too far in the trap, and they won't actually catch into the trap. You'll get the infinite, but you won't get the trap, so the infinite will not actually continue. Whereas mid-screen with this one, it's pretty much always guaranteed that it's going to work. And you can also be a little bit in front of them if need be. Like if you do the dive kick really late, I'll just bring you right next to them and just make it that much easier. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the infinites in every direction. I am sorry if, you know, my video was a little bit more rambly than I would like to. Once again, I don't have any editing software or anything like that, so I just kind of did it all live. I figure that's the best way that I teach, even though I tend to ramble and joke around. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the infinite variants. I'll show them all one more time just so you guys can see them, whether I drop them or not. And just so you can see how they actually do them. So down in the corner, and up. So remember the dash down S, wait, fly, and then, you know, don't drop it. That'll be a big point. Then side, we're gonna go into the mid-screen variant. I suck. As you can see, this is the hardest one in the corner. And then down in the mid-screen, same as corner. Just delay the dash down forward a little bit. Side is 2 dash down forwards. Oh my god, I'm gonna drop all of these. Jump forward instead of neutral jumping like I just did. And then up, as we just covered, is dive kick, into fly, dash down. And that's pretty much all of her versions. Those are the practical versions in my opinion. I'm sure some of you, if you're watching this, are Trish players of your own, and you do it your own special way. Hey, whatever you guys feel is the most comfortable to do it that way. This is just the way that I do it. That is most practical, in my opinion, less mistakes. As you can see, I made mistakes during the video, but those are natural, and the way to get less mistakes is to do them these ways, in my opinion. These are the easiest ways for me to do them. And that's pretty much it for this video. There's only one more thing that I do want to cover too, and it's not really related to the infinite, it's just related to Trish's super. Now, her L lightning bolt is pretty much what you're going to end a lot of her TAC combos with. You don't want to spike them into the ground. Say you do like just a regular old TAC combo. That is not an infinite. And drop it, because, you know, I'm great. There you go. And the super like that. That super, I mean, that Fireball has a pretty good amount of untech time. I used to think it was a soft knockdown, but it actually just has a lot of untech time. As you can see, they're always going to fall to the ground, whereas if I do the M1s, they'll actually tech out in the air. So that's why I don't like doing the H and M1s when I end a combo, because Trish is one of these characters that is terrible, and her super low voltage actually does the more damage depending on where you're at in the super. Now you can see some little lightning bolts are going behind them as they're hitting. So you can see how much damage I just lost there because they were really high up in the super and all of the low bolts are missing. Whereas if I do it when he's not jumping and he's just in the core of the super, I'm pretty much getting all of those damn bolts and you're getting a lot of damage. This is also the reason I hate Trish players and their supers like this. I do that sometimes, but sometimes you do lose a lot of damage doing that. Just because you'll do it from like back here or something, and I'm missing all of the low bolts, or it's just a small character, and you do it too high, you know, you'll like, I can actually mess up on purpose. You'll do it like too high. That was a clearly obvious mistake, but see, I technically am missing all of the top bolts, and losing a lot of damage. So, when you do the TAC combos, if you choose to end them in a super, please let them fall a little bit before you do super. And what I'm talking about is this. I'll just do it. Wow, this is an easy way to show it. So right now, I am missing a lot of the bottom bolts. See how high they are in the air? I lost a lot of damage. If I do this... Well, I did the combo wrong, so they're going to pop really low anyway. See how I kind of did a little delay before the super? They are smack dab in the middle of that super, and that super is doing a lot more damage. And also, it does make it easier to do that follow-up you see me doing after the super, where you can get the light or the M after, and you can do light in the trap, and then call your assist, and then they are still in the pressure. It makes it a lot easier to do that, and you're going to get a lot more damage. Also, on the hopscotch super, a lot of people don't do this, go for the super. Those bolts trickle the super and pop you up right into the core of the super, so you always make sure you get max damage on the super. And these are, you know, relative points to TAC. I'm sure you're saying, why are you talking about this on a TAC video? Because you're most of the time going to end your TAC videos in that, or in that if you want to use a bar, if you don't want to just kill them with the super. What I'm talking about is if you want to end it like this. See how I delayed it a little bit? And they're right in the middle of the super. I get the follow-up, a lot of damage. Same thing if you end it in the other version, in the air version of the super. Well, I didn't do it right there. I'm doing infinite. I messed it up. But you get the point. If I end that super in that too, the where I like to end it, if I do choose to spend the meter, is right after the hopscotch in the infinite itself. So, oh my god, now I can't do it because I'm talking and I'm thinking about doing it. Well, you get the point on how to do it. There we go. I always end it right here just to make sure they're right smack dab in the middle of the super, and also it gives Nova a nice follow-up too. But yeah, just one little tiny note for doing it like that, because I see a lot of Trish players do those TAC combos, and when they do end them, in my opinion, the improper way, and that's just the way I like to do it. You're not losing a lot of damage, but you are losing some damage that might be, you know, would have ended a character off, did not end the character off, and then you just gave Virgil a Helmbreaker on accident, and now he's going to X Factor and kill your entire team. So there's little risks you shouldn't have to take. So that's pretty much the end of the video. Like it, subscribe it, comment, whatever you want to do. I'm going to try to put out a lot more videos on my channel now that I have a more reliant way of recording. So whatever you guys want to see next, or if you want me to fuck off, either way, let me know in the comments. And yeah, I will try to put out more videos on whatever characters you guys want to see, or whatever characters I play. Little tutorials here and there. I'm thinking about maybe doing a Nova one next, even though Nova is a brain dead infinite. But yeah, thank you very much, guys, and later.